Welcome, viewers. Hope you're all well. In my last video, which I have made it on Satan, actually, at that particular time, ample amount of thoughts crowd in my mind. But unfortunately, I'm not able to share all these kinds of thoughts with you people because we're a time-bound being. For the sake of time, I'm not able to share all the thoughts which actually crowded in my mind at that particular moment. So I've decided to make a video on this particular thing to share my views, my ideas, and my thoughts with you people. For that reason, I'm just going to mention one thing. I'm just going to start the video by mentioning one thing that according to Christian theology, meat means I'm going to talk about the Christian meat and the Christian theology. Christian theology, Christian meat, and the Christian popular culture. According to all this, Satan is nothing but an incarnation of an evil. I don't have any problem in it. I just want to share the view of a prolific critic, Emily Lewis. He proclaimed in his book, which is very famous, History of English Literature, he mentioned that English literature begins with Chaucer and ends with Shakespeare and Milton. English literature begins with Chaucer and it ends with Shakespeare and Milton, my dear friend. Question which I'm going to raise here: why Mr. Lewis repudiated to mention three high-profile romantic poets, Wordsworth, Shelley, Keats? I want to bring Thomas Train Eliot here also. I want to share the view of Thomas Train Eliot. In one letter, Thomas Train Eliot proclaimed that he had wasted his time by reading Wordsworth, Shelley, Keats. And he also proclaimed that if he focused more on Ghalib, Rumi, and Amir Khusro, then he could able to understand the essence of romanticism better. Why these people are saying these things? My dear viewer, that is the question. See, Wordsworth, Shelley, Keats, they are the worshipper of the beauty of nature. They always have a tendency or a tenacity to worship the beauty of nature. And very deliberately, these poets ignores the evil, the shabbiness, the dingy. Why? Because they possess a belief that evil is nothing but an imperfect nature. My viewers, I'm just going to ask you the question: do you think so? Is it right? The evils are imperfect nature. Evils are not the part of a nature. What do you think? I personally believe that the evil is very important and evil is a part of nature. Actually, at that particular moment, I always say is the one thing that we, the students of literature, are very grateful to the French poets. And specifically, I just want to mention the name of Baudelaire here. Baudelaire, in his prolific work, Les Fleurs du Mal, in English, Flower of Evil, Baudelaire proclaims, beauty prevails in evil, my dear viewers. Beauty prevails in evil. So, people should explore the evil also. If you don't explore the evil, then you are not able to earn the complete knowledge. I personally believe that this is not a problem of Wordsworth, Shelley, and Keats. I personally believe that it's a problem of Christian theology, Christian doctrine, and the Christian philosophy. The problem lies in there. Well, I'm just going to say it. Because we all know that God created Adam and Eve. This is a myth, my dear friend, that God created Adam and Eve, and God forbade themselves to enter into the Garden of Eden. Why? Because there is a tree in the Garden of Eden which has been considered as a tree of knowledge. If they test the fruit of that particular tree, then they are able to understand the difference between joy and pain, success and failure, life and death. I'm just going to raise a question here. How can a creator forbid knowledge? Actually, we can't expect this kinds of attitude, this kinds of behaviors from a creator. Because you have to explore the evil. And knowledge is knowledge, my dear. It can't be good, it can't be evil. Because if you are not able to know the evil, then you are not able to differentiate good and evil. And what is evil? What is the definition of evil? We don't know. We don't have any idea. They also don't have any idea. They are considering evil or figuring out evil from the preconceived notion. Satan is evil. I personally think, I don't want to hurt anyone, but I personally think that the Christian God is a dictator. Because dictators always possess a tenacity or tendency to forbade the knowledge. Because if people acquires knowledge, then they will ask an ample amount of questions to themselves, and they don't have any convincing answer of these questions which the people will ask them. That's why they have a tenacity, they have a tendency to abscond from the questions. That is going to be the most important thing, my dear. So, what Milton had done, before Milton, I just want to show the differences between the Christian theology and the Hindu theology. I just want to show you, demonstrate you, exhibit you the vastness of Upanishad, Gita, and the Vedas. We are a time bound being, so I'm not able to discuss all these things. Gita, Upanishad, Vedas. I have an interest. I'm very much interested to make a video on these things, actually. I just want to give you a very small instance by which you can understand the difference, by which you can understand the vastness of the Indian theology, Indian philosophy, or the philosophical doctrines. Actually, we all experience this, that in the time of Durga Puja, not only Mahishasur Mardini is worshipped, Mahishasur is also worshipped along with Mahishasur Mardini. Mahishasur is also worshipped along with Mahishasur Mardini. This is the vastness of the Hindu theology, my dear. Ved, Gita, Upanishad, they all advocates in favor of exploration of evil. And evils need to be explored to get a proper knowledge, a proper kind of knowledge. So I just want to show you the difference between these two things, these two theology actually. And the last video, I'm just, okay, before coming to this particular point, actually, before entering into this particular point, I'm just going to enter into the Satan once more. Satan is what? Satan is a creation of John Milton in a Paradise Lost. Satan is nothing but a creation of a John Milton. Through Satan, John Milton asked the question, the most important question: is it wrong for humans to think that they are equal to God? Is it wrong for humans to think that they are equal to God? My dear friend, I want to share one thing with you. In every literary work, there is a whisper of greed. If you want to convert yourself into a fascinating critic, a fascinating student of literature, then you have to manufacture your ear. Many students ask me, how can we do it? By extensive reading and by contemplating. And by going to these characters again and again and again. Because all the time, literary personas are not able to proclaim every single thing in their literary works because of social convention, because of censorship. Albert Camus proclaims that the person who deals with the truth is an outsider. You need guts, you need strength, courage to convert yourself into an outsider. I think the major amount of people don't possess that amount of guts to consider or to figure out themselves as an outsider. So, I'm just returning back to the thing which I have mentioned in my last video. What is that? That once I have gone to Bakrishar, and there was a Sati Peeth in Bakrishar. I'm just telling you the experience of mine when I entered into the temple of Lord Shiva. When I entered into the temple of Lord Shiva, at that particular moment, most importantly, I got a fascinating guide. The guide mentioned that, see, there are two images of Lord Shiva. One is God himself. Another is disciple of God. What mesmerized me is the disciple of God is larger than the God itself. That is the vastness of the Hindu philosophy, Hindu theology, of the doctrines. At that particular time, when my guide mentioned, Maria Rilke came in my mind. In the story of God, Maria Rilke mentioned that yes, it's true that God creates human being, but God contains themselves in this ever-changing eternal world alone. And human being creates God here in this ever-changing eternal world with the help of their power of imagination and the power of vision. So the images which we are watching, which we are worshipping, are nothing but a manifestation of humans' vision and humans' imagination. So I don't want to raise my accusing finger towards Wordsworth, Shelley, Keats. I personally believe that the problem lies in the Christianity. Milton portrayed Satan in the Paradise Lost as a hero. And he portrayed God as a dictator. Why? Because Milton explored the evil. Satan is nothing but an incarnation of evil according to the Christianity. So, Milton had done it. And unfortunately, he was not able to proclaim. But I told, there is a whisper. There is a whisper. And you have to manufacture your ear for listening this kinds of a whisper. Once again, I'm telling that I'm not raising my accusing finger towards Wordsworth, Shelley, and Keats. And we, the Indians, are very grateful to Wordsworth. I will tell you the story later when I will wrap up at that particular moment. At the end of the video, I will tell you the story why we the Indians are grateful to Wordsworth. I'll explain it. First of all, at this present moment, I'm just going to bring the Cosmology of Paradise Lost in front of you. See, this is the Cosmology of Paradise Lost. Heaven, this is being considered as a crystalline, and this is hell. I'm reiterating it. This is universe, the entire circle. This is heaven. This is a crystalline. There is earth, and this is hell. Heaven, earth, hell. And I'm just now, this is a conventional view. This is a conventional cosmology of the Paradise Lost. But in my research paper, which I've submitted, I brought such a amount of changes in the cosmology of the Milton's Paradise Lost. We all know that there are 7 scenes which actually Bible possesses. According to Bible, there are 7 scenes which actually the human being possesses. I beg your pardon. What are these 7 scenes? I'm discussing one by one. Pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, and sloth. Pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, sloth. So what changes I have done here? I have shown, I converted this crystalline into a crystal ball, and I have just shown here that the crystal ball is mended with the 7 bricks, which are nothing but the 7 seeds. pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, sloth. These are the seven bricks by which this crystal wall is manufactured. And if you want to enter into the heaven, then you have to dismantle these bricks, this wall. Means you have to give up all the seven sins which you possesses. Otherwise, you will not get the passport. Otherwise, you will not get the license to enter into the heaven. That is my view. That is my analysis. I just transform that crystal line into a crystal wall. And this wall is mended with the seven bricks which have been considered as seven sins. Once again, I'm reiterating it. Pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, and sloth. These are the seven bricks which we have seen here. You can see it properly. These are the seven bricks, my dear. That is the change which I have done. This is the conventional cosmology of the Paradise Lost, and this is my cosmology which I have submitted. Actually, this is my cosmology. When I've changed one thing, I've shown here that the crystal line, I've removed the crystal line and I've shown here the crystal wall. And the crystal wall is just made with the seven bricks which have been considered as seven sins in Christianity. So, I need to wrap up. And before wrapping up, I showed you that I will tell you a story. Why? We, the indigenous portion of this country, are extremely grateful towards what? The young Narendranath Datta was studying in a Scottish Church college at that particular time when India was colonized. And they have Tintanabe in their syllabus. Wordsworth's famous poem Tintanabe in his syllabus. A British professor taught Tintanabe to Narendranath Datta. The basic theme of the Tintanabe is trance. In Bengali, which we call the Bhav Samadhi. The trance, the Bhav Samadhi, is a basic theme of the Tintanabe. Every single day, professor comes and professor explains the trance. But unfortunately, the professor is not able to satisfy the young Narendranath Datta at that particular time, who is nothing but an incarnation of a quest also. So one day, the professor came and the professor asked Narendranath, "Do you want to experience trance?" The young Narendranath told, "Yes, sir, I want to experience it." Then the professor told that then you have to go somewhere. Where? Then he told that you have to meet with the people, meet with a person, a particular person, meet with an individual who is nothing but an incarnation of a trance. Then Narendranath asked, "Who is that man, sir?" Then the British professor proclaimed Sri Ramakrishna. That's why, for understanding trance, Narendranath had gone to Dakshineswar temple and he met with Sri Ramakrishna. And the rest is a history, my viewers. So this is a story which I want to tell. And that's why we are extremely grateful to Wordsworth and extremely grateful to that poem. This poem is memorable, it's something special. Because this poem gifted us Swamiji, Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda is the gift of a Tintanabe. because he had gone to meet with Sri Ramakrishna for experiencing the trance. For that reason, we are extremely grateful to Wordsworth. Thank you, viewers. See you soon.